What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our Gas Course project, a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++, blueprints, the gameplay ability system plugin, and all that good stuff. I said Gas Course, I meant our Deck Knight project. I'm a little rusty, a little tired today, but yeah, today we're going to work on introducing our kind of bow and arrow mechanics. I'm wondering, in general, if I want to have cars or classes or some sort of behavior that kind of overrides what your secondary fire would be. So like by default, you have your melee attacks and like how I would want the melee to work, because right now it doesn't work exactly how I want it to be in terms of controls. Everything, light attacks map to X, and then the charge attack is mapped to Y. I kind of want to have a separation there where you can have X, and then at any point in there, kind of blend into the charge attack. And then with the Y button, that would be the secondary weapon fire. So you have your bow, which you could do a simple shot, like shoot, 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 and then like a charged mechanic. And then kind of figuring out how we can balance that with like ammo, like, you know, just rechargeable ammo types and stuff like that. So let's go ahead, let's see what it looks like when we update our input scheme to support moving the heavy attack, so melee heavy attack hold, to still be face button left. I'm just saying what if it blends well, if it looks okay. So yeah, you can see it immediately doesn't because it doesn't work. So let's look at the triggers here. So it's on down. So we probably want to do hold, one shot, and then maybe like 0.1 or something. I know we're going to have to play with the timings of everything. Yeah, so I think it's because there's also no valid transitions in our state tree. So let's go to melee. So we do have transitions into melee hold, actually. Maybe it's because it's a one-shot. And probably because the melee has, like, you know, a blocking thing. So yeah, we got like something like that, right? We can go like that and charge into it. So possibly we would need to introduce maybe like separate tracks now for the melee combo. So let me find the first sequence. I think this is the first sequence. Yeah. So, you know, we have this input buffer and it blocks status.blockability. But we might need to like categorize these a little bit more. So we could, in theory, just go up until maybe here, so we can allow some interruption. Like that. We can go, but then in theory, we could go like, no, that should actually work. So we go. So there are ways I'm getting stuck input-wise. Yeah. I feel like it needs to be probably longer. And maybe it's okay that it doesn't come out immediately. You would just kind of charge it. Yeah, like in general, things kind of maybe need to move faster, but I haven't really thought too much on this heavy hold attack, but at least it's something. You know, so you do that and you do like a big slam. Like, I feel like it just needs to come out faster in general, but Yeah, I would maybe argue that like I would argue that this thing needs to maybe just not just let the heavies come out. I know there was like the concept of like whitelisting and stuff like that too, but yeah, when it comes to this, like it's mostly in I think the abilities themselves that have like a reference to this, right? Like melee base, I think. Yeah. It's probably not super flexible, but yeah, we would probably want to maybe have like sub tags where we would just say, you know, melee. I guess this would need to be in like the base ability, honestly. And then evasive as a different one. And I hope because like if it's like because of the blocking tags, I don't know if we're checking exact tags. I think we are. Yeah. So in theory now I should be able to kind of keep this and just say explicitly like evasive or something. And then I should just be able to blend in. Or not. Melee hold. Yeah, activation block tags. Like I'm hoping like this activation block tags has any of these tags. Like you would imagine that it would work. Let me look at my default tags. So one. So like in slow motion, you know. Oops. So my debug as well. Status block ability is still there, but why is my debug for the down arrow broken? Did I forget to plug stuff back in? So the sheet manager. Did I also this one? Debug, sheet manager, increase and decrease time dilation, so it's left. I don't know why I'm getting such weird behavior. Unless like if I do decrease time dilation. Seems like it's working now, but if there's no breakpoint, it seems like it gets called multiple times. Default behavior is not pressed, so pressed. Could fix our problem. So I do an attack. Yeah, I have status.block evasive. And so, like, let's run a visual logger. Let's do an attack. Now, let's to the visual logger, go to ability system, disable all but this. Now we should eventually get to there's melee base. Base. Removes the ability. Let me stop and start again. So this one, melee hold, activated, but then because like in theory, melee hold should be activated after that like short period of time. It seems like it is. Let me make it like 0.05. I want to see if it gets activated like immediately. Yeah, see, it's getting blocked still. Like if I remove this entirely, like this blocking tags, we get that, which is more or less like the behavior I was like alluding to or wanting. But then, yeah, it stops working. So even though I have evasive, like activation block tags doesn't really check. For some reason, it's not passing where I would imagine it's passing, which is weird. Maybe it's okay. So like on press hold, and then it goes into it, you let go. Just like in general though, it's weird that the block tags doesn't like specifically check against the tag, because I have block evasive, or I did. And this one has block melee. Maybe it's an issue in the tag relationship mapping. So I have melee, I think, right? Yeah, instant.melee. And are they both instant.melee? Yes. Yeah, there's the problem. Maybe. Don't worry about that there. Now, maybe I'll get the behavior. Hard to tell. I'll have to... Yeah, because there's no other instant melee. Curious about how the early blend out is working. What part of the early blend out are you referring to? So it's fucked up. And if I take that out, still's blocked. And again, yeah, it's probably because of these transitions, I'd imagine, right? Momentum melee combo 1. Request the event. We go to melee heavy. Hold. We have melee transition tag requirements. Yeah, and none. Yeah, okay, this is the issue. The issue is that it's in a billion places. Melee. Yeah, so there you go. So that works. So let me make it 0.2. It's like the issue also is how fast the montage is coming out. So like the earliest we can go is probably 0.15, honestly. We can maybe watch the slow motion. Okay. I guess does slow motion mess with the time dilation? Yeah. I don't know what exactly, I don't, like, the two options really are that we allow early kind of blend out into the hold, but obviously you kind of get some of that funkiness. So, is this also something I can look at, like the heavy attack affected by time dilation? Let me just say, yeah. And so I can go lower. So it seems funky. It's definitely a harsh stop. Obviously, these animations weren't, I don't think, super duper meant to blend together. So maybe it's better for the attack to finish. I think if I just do blockability, it should cover my bases, right? Yeah. Yeah, we need to have the activation blocked. Do these have initialization, blend in, and blend out? Seems like decent values. But yeah, now. Might be specific. So if I say melee and evasive, okay. Or like the issue, I guess, is that I can go into this and cancel it out as well. And I think it's because now I have to go into all these montages. I don't know how many need it, but let's just go into all of them. This window here, so status block, dot evasive, melee. I possibly, well, I guess the potential issue is that if it's blocked, but whatever. Well, so we got a crash. The melee train subsystem, but trace shape. Oop. So we got a crash. Do you stop the current ability when we see the movement input? Yes. It's based off a notify that I believe is from Valley of the Ancients, but we use it here. Can't find it online, but I'll show you. Let's go one at a time. Is this notify that is messed up here? But let me move it around. So let's see. Can we go a little? Watch out here, right? Nope. No writable files for now. But if we go into this notify state blueprint, all it does is on tick, it determines what type we have, like the blend out condition. And if it's movement, we get the last movement input vector and we just do it, and then we tell it to manually blend out the montage. And because the ability has the callbacks to the blend out, it ends the ability automatically. Got it. It's just that where you bind the input to movement, it might be getting messy. Maybe, but like I want there to be early blend out with movement. So if I do an attack and I do movement, you know, I kind of want to have just quick blend out. Yeah, it snaps a little bit, but I don't think that really matters. Yeah. So that's how that works. So yeah, let's fix all our stuff here. Luckily, we don't have much in terms of content yet. So we can change this in a couple places. Let's go here. Like, you know, you could say like we come out maybe more here as an example. So go like that. Seems fine. For the rest of these, yeah, let's fix things. And then hopefully now we can then introduce our bow attack. Because we got some animations, we got an asset with some animations there from Fab that I want to introduce. We'll see how far we can take it. And then on Thursday, we'll do just some more design stuff for our active ability slots. So yeah, let's see how we should be doing this, because obviously it will start with the IMC. So we'll just start with gamepad by default, and of course it also starts with our input mapping context, or input actions as I should say. IA ranged weapon basic hold. So we have our two. I guess I could just open up Perforce as well. Just get these checked in. Let's forget which password I use. Okay, first try. But yeah, thanks for asking the questions, Chin. Much appreciated. Hopefully I'm giving good enough answers at the moment. Add, and then changes, and we have all these things. That's totally fine. Do we need to have probably a lot of these things? Well, let's check out. Fresh. I just want to make sure we don't lose any assets in this writable. Forgive me for the redundancies here. Should be everything we care about in our change list. Hello, new viewer. Hey, how's it going? Want to learn how to make games on Unreal? What's typically a good starting project you might recommend? I mean, I would recommend checking out their example projects, honestly. They have some good ones nowadays, but they also have like a blueprint content examples. It'll give you kind of like a museum-like demonstration of what all the features are for the project, for the engine, I should say. But if you want an actual project, then I would start with building simple mechanics, like figure out how to do melee attacks or a jump attack, or how to do, I guess, whatever genre of game you're most interested in, like how you could create like an RTS camera, how you can have units track and move with the mouse clicks and stuff like that. So it's very dependent on what you want to accomplish, what you want to do. Are you a game designer? Are you a technical designer? Are you an artist? Are you a programmer? Are you everything? So yeah, start just getting your hands dirty and kind of take it from there. So now that we have our IMC, let us... Did I ever play Infinity Blade? I didn't play the game, but I played around with the assets. But no, because I think it was primarily a mobile game, right? I didn't really play mobile back then. So let's grab the same values for the hold here. So now that we have this, we might need to, because we have our combo base, right? And this one we are putting in our player controller. That's like, because I don't think we can run parallel straight like state trees directly from this state tree component. But we could do kind of state tree overrides, right? So let's do this. I think I have to make a brand new, brand spanking new state tree. And I think I can have, so we have root, and then we're going to say base, I guess. And then base just has a run parallel state tree here. State tree override tag. We have state tree tags, I think, right? Have you dabbled in mobile games? No, not really. Like I made like one really bad game that's still technically on Steam, but it sucks and I don't want to talk about it. But I think it was based off Touch, but I don't know. It was crap. So. Well, let's make a new state tree. Yeah, I don't really do mobile. Like, I've been working in, I guess, AA, AAA for a while now. I don't know what we would categorize Outriders as. I think it was AAA, but yeah. Oh yeah, is this like a different schema? There you go. There's the first parallel straight tree. Then parallel state tree again. Let's make a ranged. Now I need to make somewhat of a duplicate of this. So I'm going to say melee combo, then I'll say ranged base. Sure. Hopefully okay. I should be able to put ranged base in here, and we get to say high as well. And what I'm hoping to do now is, ideally I could just put parent in, and melee should still be functional. And it is. Awesome. So now I should be able to go into a ranged base. See, it's going to be doing maybe even double attacks. Am I working on the new Witcher? Yes, I am. It's okay if you get asked questions, like, it's fine. Yeah, I've been working at CD Projekt for a little over, I think this will be my 5th year in September. Yeah. I didn't work on Cyberpunk. I came in after that once they made the switch to Unreal. But yeah, I've been working on Witcher 4. And it is pretty sick. It's really sick. It's a lot of fun. A lot of stuff going on. And so yeah, I kind of work on this project in order to kind of keep learning. Try to take the stuff that I've learned from working on that to this project, and maybe even vice versa. Try to use the same tools, get myself familiar with, just so I can be more efficient when I'm on the clock, you know what I mean? So yeah, we have our enhanced input events. So here we're going to change this to ranged basic and state tree dot ranged dot basic dot triggered. Okay. So we got basic triggered. Yes. So we're going to do ranged, hold, triggered, range, hold, completed. I was just talking to a family friend who works for Avalanche during the new Harry Potter game, and he was showing me how things change so quickly in the game's interesting. He has lots of interesting examples. Tell me about them. Are you referring to more like game mechanics, or the tools that we use, or both? Because I could see how the tools are changing, especially with Unreal Engine, because, you know, we got state trees, we're having the Unreal Animation Framework. I guess there's also the stuff that they're showing for if he's an artist, and like, I don't know, I'm sure he did they have opinion on DLSS 5? Oh yeah, foliage, then now we got like nanite foliage and using voxels and stuff. Sorry, I'm just looking at some text messages. So for me, like DLSS 5, the examples they showed were not very good. And I understand people's concerns on the possible lack of artistic integrity if you use it in the form that it is in now, just because it makes things kind of look the same. There's definitely like a mismatch in between like the intended art style and what it ends up looking like. People have made like the same points online, but you know, the way the animators work with the skeletal meshes when they do these animations that's built on a specific rig with specific joints that you can move, and then those things can be moved around or manipulated or changed in some way with AI, and then they could mess those things up. Someone else I saw made a good point. I don't know if it was Legendary Drops or somebody else, but if it is an AI upscaler or whatever they want to call it, I'm curious if these such important details can be changed and kind of evaluated and generated at runtime. Would that mean that, you know, either the character or characters would visually change in inappropriate ways over time, like from cutscene to cutscene with different lighting and all that stuff? Is there a way to kind of keep that consistent? And, you know, from person to person, you know, from, you know, my experience on the game and screenshots from my version of the game, would they look identical with the same settings and everything from like your copy of the game? But that's what I'm wondering too, is how much of that is lost and like how much of that kind of, I guess, takes away from the experience. So as the game stands right now, it's not good. Like the game, not the game, the DLSS 5, it's not good. And so I'm hoping they make improvements. Like, honestly, that's their goal, is to make improvements, but the way it's looking right now is not good. And, you know, first they said they got the sign off from those companies like Bethesda and Capcom, but then it came out that it was only like the studio heads that gave those permissions and not really the artists or anything, and it was kind of secretive. So it's also kind of shady if all that is to be true. It's pretty shady what they're doing too. So we'll have to just see. It might be one of those cases where they're trying to force it down our throats or something. So yeah, now let's clean up the state tree here. Like, we're going to do some very basic thing. We're going to start with a basic range. Basic range attack, I guess. And we're going to take away all the transitions that we don't need. And we're going to take... so there's not really going to be any sort of... I guess we could possibly transition back into itself if we detect this ranged base triggered. So yeah, idle doesn't have some of these ones, which is fine. Don't have this one. In my casual opinion, I think with the rise of AI, it's becoming more and more important for a strong artistic vision. Like, I think a talented art is going to become very valuable for something original. It's kind of been a topic on my mind on why I want to get into making games. I agree. Like, you know, everyone's always complaining about, you know, all Unreal Engine games, for example, look the same. And now they're bringing in, like, this AI that makes all these games have the similar style. Like, it seems like it's digging harder and harder into just realism, where realism is not always the goal. And so, yeah, you get Harry Potter looking like Resident Evil, and Resident Evil looking like Starfield. And there you go. Curious how the listen to enhanced IA state tree tasks work. I could show you, but also for I guess everyone who's interested, since I think everyone who's listening right now is new. You can access my source code on GitHub, so you can find only the code there, none of the contents there. So you can look into how I did some implementations. But I can quickly show you state tree tasks and input listener. More or less what it does, and it may not be the most efficient thing because yeah, obviously there's a lot of comments in here that doesn't really do anything. So maybe I can just nuke that as well. But generally what it does is it just has bound properties, and then for each one of these arrays we check to see if the input buffer is open. We have our own input buffering system, which is then linked to those notifies I was looking at earlier. And we check to see if the triggered gameplay tag is valid, and then we just rebound that event into state tree. So we basically listen for the input mapped to each of these types. So we check if it's been triggered, we check if it's completed or canceled, and if there is a tag mapped to that input or enhanced input event, it takes that and sends the same event into state tree. And so it's basically just like a rebounder. And so for Melee, for example, I have my basic and I have my heavy, right? So whenever my basic attack is triggered, I get this input.statetree.melee.light.triggered, and I use it as the event to be driven for transitions and enter conditions and stuff like that. So you can see the full code on GitHub. So now that I have this, I can now create a ranged attack ability. So given that we're already 45 minutes in, we usually stream for about an hour and a half. We'll see how far this will go. So let's go into where's the melee base? So we have melee. I should be able to have just like a range thing. Yeah, so I noticed my stream kind of stopped. Hopefully I'm still going. Okay, there we go. Sorry if I cut out. I should be able to make, ranged. And I'll just make like bow. Alright, so let's make a new gameplay ability. So we'll say GA, ranged, bow, attack, basic. And more or less what this will do, obviously we gotta spawn a projectile at some point, but we gotta play an animation. We also have to have a weapon, right? So let's just get it. Let's get the animation to work. So I forget. I forget where, because we have animations from what's the word? Fab, and stuff that we got and pay for online. So there's the Ghost Samurai bundle, I think, and there's bow, and there's attack. There's aim pose, air aim pose, common, movements, all this stuff. There's a bunch of aim offsets that I don't know if we'll need. I think I was looking at the Witcher 3 source code and your state tree task implementation, also basically how the reactions work in NPCs. Example is when the NPC wants to parry us when we attack them. Yeah, like systems, like games typically tend to have like, I guess you could say a reaction system, where when a player does something, it sends the data to like the enemies in range or to a specific enemy, so that then they have the opportunity to respond to it, like you're saying, parry, for example. I just want to look at the examples here. Hey, thanks for the sub, Sam Palmer. Much appreciated. Here's some animations. Yeah, there's stuff like this that I like. Like these poses are nice. So figuring out which sequences are playing, I guess. Oh, I should be able to. I need to move my monitor here. Outliner. Details, I should say. So yeah, range shoot. So there's a bunch of stuff under attack, right? So this air shoot example, like you know, we will also have those things, but yeah, trying to figure out which animations I need, right? So there's air shoot, bow, rain, start, and rain shoot. I think there's this one for idle. Well, let's first look at their starts. Yeah, there's that, like whoop. So definitely need that one. What is the name of this? So bow, boot, SP. So this is like the full one, right? So this is the end. There should be like a loop, right? You would imagine that, right? Or is it literally just these two? Because I guess if it's going to be like a quick shot, then I think maybe it doesn't need a loop. Let's just see what it looks like in practice. So I would also need to see what this is and what it's attached to and stuff like that, but let's go ahead and retarget. We're gonna do this one. Assign a source. So yeah, we gotta find our. I think it's called standalone. This one. Now let's put it in our directory. It's in character animation. Folder arranged and then bow. Export, export. So this is start, so we gotta do end. Same thing, more or less. In place. So let's see, does this look okay? Yeah. Seems fine. Let us Honestly, the naming sucks. I gotta go back to work. Appreciate your time. Hey, I appreciate your time. Have a good day at work. Thanks for stopping in. Drop a follow if you aren't already following here on Twitch. It'll be appreciated before you go. But do you, man. Enjoy your Tuesday. But yeah, let's open up our sequences. But yeah, let's also go into bow. We'll say like animations, or maybe we don't need to have an animation folder here, but maybe we could just do it in here. So we'll make a new montage. So we have that. Let's also add end. So I think in general, it's gonna be maybe 20% faster. Bam. It's that. So what we can do now is play montage and wait for event. This montage. Obviously, there's no markup or anything just yet. And then on completed and on blend out, we can end it, right? I guess everything goes in. Now, I think if we haven't added it, we could add it here. Now, okay. To be honest, I don't remember the name of that map. Default. In theory now, I should be able to press Y and we play that animation. So, bam. Now we need an actual bow and a projectile. And you can interrupt it. Yeah, so possibly even faster. So 50% faster. Can we go 2 times faster? Yeah, that looks fine. So now we need potentially like basically helper functions to hide, like, because right now we don't really have equipment, quote unquote. So like let's look at elf character. Yeah, right now he has the sword in this, weapon slot. So we would need to potentially, not potentially, but when we do this thing, hide it and unhide it when we do bow attacks. And if we go real quick to the preview samurai, I want to look this one. Yeah, he has this thing. Quiver, I think it's one. Yeah, there's a quiver socket, right? And this quiver socket is attached to spine 5. So I'm curious if I need to have like a hierarchy of skeletal meshes potentially for like quiver and stuff like that. But let's add a new. What is this? Is this? I'm assuming it's a static mesh. So ranged quiver. Do we have a spine 5? No. But we have a spine 3. And I have a specific relative location. We can start with. Well, as a relative rotation. So we're overriding the scale here. Oh, there you go. That seems like it works fine. So let's zoom in for a second. Yeah, that seems fine. Now let's do slow motion. And let's just see what his hands do. Yeah, that seems fine. Like, we can always just pop stuff in. So you can see, like, that's fine, but, you know, we're seeing that not really represented here. Is it just because it, oh, is it because of the blends and the speed? Let's just see what inertialization looks like. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that looks cool. So we would definitely need a helper function to basically, or some sort of system that lets us hide weapons wherever we want, right? So for now, we're gonna just brute force stuff just to see what we can do. So custom event, so toggle sword mesh. Because I think maybe because I have other asset packs too. I think I have other kinds of quivers. So potentially we can have a quiver with some like attached sockets and stuff. So you can actually show arrows added and removed and stuff, but for now it's whatever. that. And then in theory, we should just be able to say character, gas course character. So we're going to cast it a blueprint for now. But yeah, we might need to make some sort of component that tracks these things. Probably store this. And on endability, show it again. Of course, we need health mail. Let's see. So it's like bam. Now we could maybe not hide it, but instead move it to a different socket position. Which might be interesting. So it goes on his back rather than just disappearing entirely. Attach, no, it's gonna be attach component to component. Spine. 3. See what that looks like. It's not going to look correct, I'll tell you that much. Let's just see what happens. Oh. So basically, it's everything, which makes sense. Keep world. If we snap the target, for example. Sort of. Let's see. Maybe something like that. So, can I, for example, I guess it would make sense to maybe make a table for these things, so I just know, hey, you know, when you attach this with this transform, and it's Gucci. But let's see. So I want to say set relative transform. Transform. Whoops. Teleport. Yes. Make relative transform. Might plug in and play these things. No. Hard code some values right now. That's interesting. Must not go up to negative 100. Okay, it can. But wonder if this looks good at all. Yeah. Whoops. Let me get rid of weapon. Let's see. Yeah, but I guess the scale would also have to be... Oh yeah, I have to make it 0.75. That's how it is supposed to be. But yeah, I feel like this would need to be like an atom notify as well. Like, hey, pop it on the back. And then return it, right? So... essentially, we gotta do the same thing, but with the appropriate transforms. And our socket 0.000.90. Right, the rest are 0.75. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Okay, the question is if it should be on, you know, endability, where it pops in. Not sure entirely, but let's look again now at the example. Where is he attaching? Oh, let's look. Oh. Instructor. It's a skeletal mesh. Animation class. Let's see what happens when I attach it to like the left hand, I guess. Well, let's look again at SK Manny. There's nothing here. Is there anything for bow? It's at hand L. So if I were to go to male, for example, say just ranged weapon. Grab. Escape bow. It's also just a skeletal mesh, but we want to have skeleton. We'll want a skeletal mesh just so we can animate. So we're actually going to have to place everything to be 0. And then can we just do hand L? I guess that's where we have to do something similar that we do like in this construction. Because here we have the bow here. Should be able to say that. And then hopefully when I compile, it's fine, yeah? So that's where it is in that pose. And then for him, yeah, his pose is a little bit outward, but I think that's okay. So let's just look. Let's see what this looks like in practice. Slow down. Okay. Little off. And so I think there's notifies in here that dictate when the string is pulled back too. Or something. Like an SK bow. Something is doing something somewhere. That's getting pulled back. So that's what it looks like there, right? Whereas for my character, like the stuff, the string and the bow itself is all kinds of messed up. The ranged bow, everything's at 0, 0, 0. Also everything at 0, 0, 0. So force update. So something weird. Not sure why. I'm guessing because we're not properly attached. Because if we don't do that, just over there, right? And if I attach it, we have this. Because, like, I'm guessing the bow. Maybe it's because I'm using Esquivo 02. Let's see. Yeah, it's still offset a bit. I'm guessing it's because of the retargeting. So possibly we need to just adjust it in a way well, that's what it looks like in idle, right? So maybe we just need to have it in a similar way. Like, I'm sure there's a better way to do this. And it could be just because the whole general mesh itself, because like it's on this mannequin, in too, which is weird, right? Like, is there a way to maybe do a test? Now, is there a way to skeleton, assign skeleton? Find my skeleton. Failed to merge bones. Significant has been made. So I have other bows. Maybe these will work okay. Like, these are a little funky. Not funky, but a little out there. Possibly I could use this one instead. But these animations could be built. Got one specific one in mind. He's all dirt up as well. Let's find these other bows. Let's just see if this looks worse. So this animation. hate that the character and this thing are flickering. That's fine. Let's do a match here. He's looking a little rough around the edges. So on the original bow. Let's add it to the uh-oh. Wanted to do that. Let's just look. Open and close this and just look again. Oh, I feel like this needs to be like that much bigger. I have some sort of like just needs to be more out from his palm. That maybe. Because again, he put in his hand correctly during normal locomotion. So 1, 2, 3. Not tilted the rope. Would be nice. Maybe I think it could make our lives easier. Okay. To this. this one, not this one. Ranged bow. Here. We should be able to. Oh, there we go. I was frozen for a second, my bad. Great. Add preview asset, so we call that. Then we have this asset. Look here, right? Should be able to hopefully kind of a position here. So I'm gonna make a new socket. I'm gonna call it say oh my goodness. This again, bow, bam. The idea now is to see need to increase the scale. See what it looks like. More or less that looks right. I should be able to place this one with bow. Is that what I called it? Range weapon socket. And then I should be able to just take out all of those. Should be able to just also fix the scale. That should hopefully look better. Yeah, honestly, there's some intersection like this. So if I, yeah, that'll be fine. And then it would just kind of pop back on his back, so he would just, bam. That to work. So I think in general, we're gonna need to, I don't know if we need to, we will, for sure, but I would assume we would need to have some sort of inventory-ish thing. I don't know if it has to be inventory 1-to-1, but some way to manage our weapons and stuff like that. Sorry, there's a kitty in a basket next to me, so I'm just petting her. She's so cute. So we got into a okay spot, right? So it's already been an hour and a half. I would like to speed run shooting a projectile. Nah, I think we better do. We'll have to maybe put some documentation together. Straight up design related stuff. So I want to fit on what's the word? Our active ability slots. And I feel like my stream is lagging so hard. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, work on our active ability card design and our quote-unquote inventory-ish design. So we can handle a primary weapon and a secondary weapon. And if it's like, if we have specific needs of the ranged weapon, like a quiver, we can kind of just see what it looks like in practice. So what I would imagine is as soon as you shoot the bow, or by default, the bow would be in some back socket. But yeah, in general, it looks pretty good. It's like bam. But yeah, once we get the string to do something, we can figure that out too. Because I'm not sure how we want to do it. Also putting in a bolt in his hand, or a bow. I'm sorry, an arrow. I would just have to like somehow find the mesh associated with the current arrows you have, and kind of just shoot it. In general, I like the way the animations look. Curious what you guys think. Because also we're gonna be, far away too. You're never gonna really like see it super duper close up. I just want to be able to hit enemies. I would also have to figure out best to kind of handle putting the sword back. I'm assuming like basically when we get to idle or whenever we do a melee attack, we just put the sword back in. But yeah, a lot. When we introduce this sort of bow mechanic, we can introduce cards that play into it as well. So we'll figure that out next. Everybody for watching. It's all. If you're watching, if you're watching from Twitch, make sure to follow. Make sure to join our Discord. Enjoy your week, and I will see you on Thursday.